Hi there, my name is Caitlin Bandy and this is my channel BandysBooks, and today we are here with a Tag Tuesday video. We're going to be doing the currently reading tag, and this tag was originally created by Charlie Ray at Charlie Ray Horse. I was tagged by Jess at Jess Book Girl TV, so thank you for the tag, Jess. I believe I've actually done this tag once before, however some of my reading habits have changed since the last time I did it, so I thought I would go ahead and revisit this and talk about my reading habits now. Question number 1, how many books do you read at once? It honestly depends. So in the past, I would usually read at least 2 or 3 books at a time. Now it's a little bit higher than that. So I usually have 1 physical book that I'm reading. I have 1 to 2 audiobooks that I'm listening to. And now because I have so much going on with NetGalley, I typically have 1 to 2 galleys open in my e-reader. I used to not read on my e-reader very much, but in order to read a lot of ARCs, you have to accept e-galleys, so I have a couple of those going at a time now. Question 2, if you read more than 1 book at a time, how do you decide when to switch? So I don't think I necessarily decide when to switch exactly. I guess the only really concrete switches that I make is that if I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm typically listening to that during my workday. So I work in a kitchen and I don't have a large crew with me most days, so I'm able to just plug in my headphones and listen to an audiobook while I work. And that's kind of nice because it does help me kind of get through books faster. So sometimes I'll be reading a physical copy at home and then I'll switch to the audiobook while I'm at work, and it allows me to get through the books at a nice rate. Otherwise, I will be reading my physical book at home and listening to an audiobook at work. Sometimes I'll switch between 2 audiobooks just depending on how I'm feeling for the day and what I'm listening to. And then there's the NetGalley ARCs. I have most of those in e-copies, and so I have my Kindle downloaded on my phone and I can take those wherever I go. So I tend to read those like when I'm waiting somewhere, when I'm going to take a bath and I just don't want to have a physical copy in the bathtub with me, things like that. So there's not really an exact time in which I switch. It just depends on what I'm doing at any given point. Question 3, do you ever switch bookmarks while you're partway through a book? Yes, all the time. I have bookmarks all over the house. Up here on my bookshelf, which you can't see because there's a stack of books over here, I have a really nice vase and I have it full of bookmarks that I've been given over the years. And then in my bedroom, I have a bag full of bookmarks that I've been gifted and things. I have a tendency to just pick up whatever bookmark I have nearby me when I'm reading, so it definitely can switch multiple times while I'm reading one book. Question 4, where do you keep the book that you're currently reading? This is a short answer. I have a ledge above my bed. My TBR for the month typically goes on that ledge, and then the book that I am currently reading will usually be pulled out and set on the corner of that ledge so that it's easily accessible when I lay down at night and I want to read and decompress a bit. Question 5, what time of day do you do the most reading? To answer this question, it really kind of just depends on the day. I work Wednesday through Saturday, and on my work days, I don't have as much time to sit down and read. Right now, I'm in a practice of waking up at 5 in the morning, and the first hour of my day is spent on self-care. So usually about 20 minutes of that self-care time is spent on reading whatever book I'm trying to get through. I also like to read for at least a half an hour before bed, as it kind of helps me to decompress and forget about the stresses of the day. So those would be probably the 2 times that I'm reading the most physically during my work week. On my days off, it really just depends on the day. Like today, I am about to go on a trip with Oz and Luna up to the mountains, and we're gonna camp overnight because we're both off tomorrow. And so I will probably read a ton tonight because when we go camping, I usually like to set up my hammock and climb into my sleeping bag, jump into the hammock, and then sit there with a good book and read until it's time to go to bed. But on a normal day off, it just depends. Like if I have a lot of housework or things like that, I might read more in the morning or more in the evening. Basically what I'm saying is there is no concrete time. Question 6, how long do you typically read in one go? Again, this really just depends. It depends on how invested I am in the book. I have definitely been known to sit down and read an entire book in one sitting. But if I'm not that interested in a book, I could easily read for 15 or 20 minutes and then take a break, go do something else, and come back to it later. It also depends on the day because on my busy work days, sometimes I only have like little 15-minute windows to read for a little bit and then have to go back to whatever else I'm supposed to be doing. Whereas on my days off, I have the luxury to be able to lay on the couch and read all day if I really want to. Question number 7, do you read hardcovers with the dust jacket on or off? I do both. It depends on the scenario. Like if I'm reading in my bathtub and I'm bringing a physical book, I usually will take the dust jacket off so it doesn't get damaged. But if I'm reading around the house, usually I'll just leave the dust jacket on because I don't really damage them very much. I'm not somebody who beats up my books too much. Question number 8, which position do you mainly use to read? I switch around. I am a very antsy person. I have ADHD, so I do not like to sit still for long periods of time. So I might start by laying down and holding my book in front of me, and then I have a leg up, and then I flip over onto my belly, and then I'll get tired of that and I'll move to my comfy reading chair and I'll recline, and then I'll sit up, and then I'll throw my legs over the side of the chair, and then I'll flip upside down, and I just am constantly moving. So like even if I'm sitting and reading, if I'm into a book and I like really want to read the whole thing at one go, I still fidget a lot. Question 9, do you take the book that you're currently reading everywhere you go? So I used to take physical books with me a lot more because I really don't love reading ebooks as much as I like reading a physical book. And so for a long time, I didn't read ebooks at all. And in that case, yes, I would take a physical copy pretty much everywhere I went. Now, however, because I have so many e-ARCs from NetGalley, I don't always feel the need to carry a physical book with me. So I think typically now my current read is just staying in the house, unless I'm going like on a camping trip or like a more long-term trip. And then like on my normal day-to-day, I just bring my phone with me. And if I'm bored somewhere and I want to read something, I have my e-galleys that I can flip through on Kindle. And question 10, how often do you update your progress on Goodreads? I am notoriously horrible with reviewing things in a timely manner. I always get really optimistic at the beginning of the year. I'm like, this is the year where I'm gonna write book reviews at least like once a week. I'm gonna sit down and bang out all the reviews of all the books I'm reading. And that lasts like a week or 2 weeks, and then I just get over it. And then periodically through the year, I'll make like little pushes to try to catch up all those reviews, and it never really works. Usually I maybe end up reviewing about a third of the books that I read. So all that to say, I'm pretty terrible about updating Goodreads. That said, I did just currently test out a format where I do a 1-minute book review for a book that I read and post it like as a short or a reel, and that worked out pretty well for me. I kind of enjoyed that, and I'm learning how to work with that format a little bit better. So I think I'm gonna try to do a 1-minute video of every single book that I've read this year, and that's a lot so far. I'm at like 180 books. So I have a lot to catch up on, but I think it's pretty doable since they don't take a lot of editing. So keep your eyes peeled for those a little bit more consistently as the year progresses. Question 11, tag a friend. So pretty much I think everyone in this community has been tagged in this tag already. So I'm not gonna be tagging a whole bunch of people. I'm just gonna tag one person, and that's my friend Lydia. She is completely new to BookTube. She's a friend of mine from Instagram. She posts really clever and funny reels over on Instagram about being a writer and being a reader. And she's decided to finally give YouTube a go. So I'm gonna tag her because she hasn't yet done any tag videos, and I would love to hear a bit more about her reading habits. And if you get a chance, click the link in my description to go check out her channel. I don't know if she's quite posted anything yet. When I spoke to her today, she was actually in the process of editing her first video. So hopefully that'll be up soon and you'll have something to check out with her. But give her a follow. She's a really awesome person. She posts pretty funny content, and I expect that's gonna probably translate into her YouTube videos. So that being said, that's the end of this tag. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video about my reading habits. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, comment down below, and let me know, how many books do you usually read at a time? Are you someone that can only do one at a time? Do you like to have multiples? How many multiples? Tell me all the details. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell so that you never miss a video. And that way we can see each other again soon. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.